Hey guys, today we have Krishna and he is having total 4 year of experience in Java, Spring Boot and microservices. And guys, those who want to give same free mock interview, please fill out the form below in the description. So now let's get started. Hey, hello Krishna, how are you?
Yeah, hi Fazan. I'm fine. What about you?
Yes, I'm also good. So shall we start? Are you excited?
Yeah, very much.
Okay, nice, nice.
Let's start.
So guys, watch this video till the end because this mock interview is gonna be very, very interesting. So Krishna, let's start with your introduction and your recent project in brief.
As you know, like my name is Krishna Mishra, and
Mm-hmm.
like I have completed my bachelor's degree from computer science branch in year 27 to 2021, and after that I joined Cognizant in the October month, and there I worked around 2.5 years, and there I got a chance to work on the telecom domain, and where there were some migrations going on which were from RCP GUI, like the old Java version to
Mm-hmm.
the newer Java version,
Okay, so may I
in
know
the
the
new
versions? Old
microservices.
Java versions and new version?
Old Java means some RCP GUI, like where front end, back end, all those were working in the
MVC.
same Java project. Yeah.
Okay.
So that we were converting into migrating to the new microservice architecture. And
Okay.
there we were using Spring Boot 3. And since Spring Boot 3, the base Java version
Requires.
required Java 17. So
Mm.
we were using Java 17 version there.
Okay. May I know the challenges that you guys faced during this migration?
Yeah, the biggest challenge was particularly since I was very new to it, and like that running the RCP GUI and finding the ways how to implement these particular functionalities into the new version.
Okay.
It will require whether which do we need
Mm.
to some distributed DBs, or
Mm.
we require these DB to be into only single one. So these all discussions always go on, and they took a long time to discuss at that time.
Cool. Okay, so Krishna, can you tell me a constructor can be final, static, or abstract?
Sorry, constructor can be final.
My question is, can a constructor be final, static, or abstract?
Constructor, I think, can be static, uh, so that it
Okay.
can be initialized
Okay, so
while
let's discuss one by one. Can constructor be final?
yes, it could be.
Okay. Can constructor be static?
Uh, yeah, static also it can be.
No, actually, no. No to all three. Final is meaningless on constructor because constructors are never inherited. So there is nothing to prevent overriding. So constructor cannot be final. Okay. Static cannot apply because constructor always operate on a newly created instance. Abstract requires subclass to provide an implementation, but constructors cannot be overridden or inherited. So this concept does not apply as well.
Okay, yeah, got
Okay.
it.
Can constructors be private?
Um, Constructor should be public so that it could be
No,
used
no,
in
it
other
should be
projects.
public. That's true. But my question is, can it be private?
No, I guess
No.
no.
Uh, okay, so can you tell me, do you know about singleton design pattern?
Yes.
Okay, so how can we
Uh,
create a singleton design pattern?
um, Singleton we can create using uh, uh, singleton provides only
Mm-hmm.
single object.
Mm-hmm.
So for that there are basically three steps. So that constructor will be there,
Mm-hmm.
and for that constructor, we can remove uh, like uh, firstly
Okay.
we will that class will be defined as a in the
Mm-hmm.
final status,
And what about
and
constructor?
the constructor we cannot create directly, that will be private, and that we can
Okay, so
use
you said
by
constructor is
using the
private
method.
while creating the singleton design pattern, right?
Yes.
But before this question, I ask you, can constructor be private?
Sorry, I missed I. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah,
could
it's
you
fine,
try?
fine. No worries. Yeah, so constructor can be private. The example is singleton pattern.
Yes.
Okay. Krishna, I would like to share one important thing with you. Actually, we had launched complete interview preparation material, structured step by myself, experts, and MNCs interviewers. And the best part is that now no one need to go anywhere else to prepare interviews. There is a 99% chance that interviewers will ask questions from this material. So basically, it contains a lot of material categorized by experience level. Means each experience level has different material with all possible interview question answers for Java, Spring Framework, Maven, Git, Spring Boot, Spring Security, Spring Data JPA, Kafka, Microservices, Java Query questions, Stream API Query questions, and many more. I have provided the link to get this in the below description. And if someone needs this material, plus two real enterprise client project for the reference, plus one-on-one lifetime doubt sessions and referrals to the big MNCs, then they should check the interview preparation kit. We have this kit as well. I will provide the link for this as well in the description below. So now moving to our interview. Um, let's say you have a class with a static block,
Okay.
okay, and a constructor. If you create two objects, in what exact order does everything execute? I mean, first static block will be executed or constructor?
So first the static block will be executed, and then the constructor will be
Constructor.
executed.
That is correct. And what happens if a static block throws an unchecked exception?
No, then it will stop the flow in between since there is exception.
Correct, correct. Why is hashmap not thread safe?
Um, Hash is not thread safe because uh, like it doesn't like perform that synchronization. It is not synchronized. So that's why like it does not belong to that
Hmm.
thread category.
Correct, correct. Basically, hashmap performs non-atomic compound operations. Okay.
Okay.
And it doesn't use any synchronized keyword, atomic operations, blocking mechanism. That's why it's not a thread safe. Okay. Tell me, how does concurrent hashmap handle concurrency differently in Java 8 versus Java 7?
Concurrency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Concurrency, like concurrent, it handles the concurrency like when there are read and write operations, both are
Mm-hmm.
being performed. So it provides lock on the that element section only. It does
Okay.
not provide on the whole object. So yeah, like in this way only, like so that if a lock is provided for the read, so
Mm-hmm.
another thread can go and it can be written there.
Okay.
So
Okay, so I'm more interested to know about the differences between their mechanism in Java 7 and 8. Do you know that?
no, that I'm not
No.
aware
Okay, okay.
of difference.
Basically, before Java 8, it used segment level locking. The map was divided into the 16 segments, each with its own lock, allowing 16 concurrent writes. But after Java 8, it eliminated segments and uses CAS compare and swap operations for most insertions with synchronized blocks only on individual buckets head when needed. Okay. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So, Krishna, when would you choose collections dot synchronized map over concurrent hash map?
Over concurrent hashing, that's
Hmm.
collection dot synchronized map.
Yep.
Uh, like whenever there is the use whenever we require some threads, there are multiple threads and we require that synchronization. So
Hmm.
there we can use collection dot synchronize, which provides the
Okay,
synchronization.
so in that case, both of these could be used when we need synchronization. We can use concurrent hash map. We can use this synchronized map, right? But I'm just more interested to know, like, when would you choose synchronized map over concurrent hash map?
Okay.
Okay, so as we know, in collections or synchronous map, we lock the entire map. Okay, but in
Yes.
concurrent hash map, we just lock buckets. We don't
But
lock the entire map. Okay, so prefer synchronous map when we need to perform compound operations atomically. using explicit synchronized block on the map object. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So can you tell me the difference between comparable and comparator?
Yeah, for sure. Like comparable is used for if there is like required to have a single sorting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In comparator, we can use for the multiple sorting. Like
Mm-hmm.
in the same class, we require it, like sorting by name as well and ID as well. So we can
Mm-hmm.
use like a comparator thing. And comparable is having that compare method, and comparable is having that compare to method.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so let's say a developer uses double equal to compares two integers objects with value 200 and gets false, but with the value 100 gets true. How would you explain this? Did you get my question?
No, actually, can you please
Okay.
repeat once?
Let's say there are two integers, integer a and integer b. Okay. Both are
Okay.
having 200. A is equal to 200, b is equal to 200. Now you
Mhm.
did a is equal to b. This is
Yes.
returning, yeah, a is equal to b. This is returning false. But then you have an integer c and d, two integers again, and both are having values 100. Integer c is equal to 100, integer d is equal to 100. Now when you are doing c is equal to d, so it's giving true. What could be the reason?
The reason, like generally equals compare the reference. Uh,
Double
might
equals. You
be
understand, right? Double equals. We are
double
comparing with
equals.
double
Yes.
equals.
Yes. Yes. Double equals. So might be like I'm not exactly sure, but might be
Mhm.
like their pointer is saving storing the same reference. So that's why it could be. Otherwise, like,
Okay. Basically, Java caches integer objects for the values in the range minus 128 to 127. Okay. So when you are doing A is equal to B, it means it is comparing the reference and their reference might not be the equal. Okay. So they are
yes.
returning false. But in the case of 100, when integer C is equal to 100 and integer T is equal to 100. So in that case, Java caches their object. Okay. When
Okay.
you outbox or call integer.value with a value in this range, Java returns the same cache instance every time. Okay. So due to this, double equals will give you always true when the values is in between 1 minus 128 to 127. Other than that, it will check the reference.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Yep. Moving ahead. What's the difference between map and flat map?
Map is map is something having the values in the form of key value format,
Mm-hmm.
and the flat map is used for uh, suppose there are to flatten the map,
Mm-hmm.
means there are multiple threads going on, so we can use there in place of map, there we can
Mm-hmm.
use the flat.
Cool. Can you explain about functional interface?
Yes, functional interface is the interface having the single abstract method,
Okay.
and like from Java 8, like functional interface, either we can use that annotation that at the rate functional interface,
Mm-hmm.
or if we are creating just single abstract method, then it will automatically be defined as a functional interface.
Okay. Can an interface with a default method, an abstract method, be functional interface?
Yes, like functional
Mm-hmm.
interface is now can accept the default and static methods.
Okay. Functional interface annotation is optional. Okay. Why it is optional? Why it is not mandatory?
Um, it is optional because like if we are putting the functional interface annotation, So
Mm-hmm.
at the compile time only, that JVM ensures like this should be a functional interface. But if we are not applying it, there we at that time, if we are trying to create that multiple abstract method, so it will not stop at that time. So if we want multiple abstract methods, so that time we can
Mm-hmm.
have, but it will lose that functional interface property.
Okay. Okay. So, moving ahead, can you tell me the difference between component, service, and repository annotation?
Yes. So the service annotation is used to define like this particular class will have that service implementation,
Mm-hmm.
like the functionalities uh, which are defined,
Mm-hmm.
and the repository will be responsible to like for the persistence, like to store the data into the DB.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the next component, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so component will be used to define the bean. Like it will
Okay.
scan the component, like beans of
Mm.
the particular project.
Okay. Um, can you inject a repository bean into a service bean?
Yes, like we can auto wire them.
Okay. That's true. Can you explain the difference between auto-wired on a field versus constructor and setter injection? I mean, there are three type of injections, right? There is a field injection. In there we use auto-wired, and then there is a setter injection, then there is a constructor injections, right? Can you explain their differences?
Yes. So the first one is the constructor injection, which is
Mm-hmm.
applied at the class level, and like the objects, the constructor which is created, that we are injecting into the some other class. This
Mm-hmm.
is what the constructor injection means. So for that, the parameters should be same,
Mm-hmm.
like as defined in
Mm-hmm.
uh, the class which we are injecting. And for
Okay.
the setter injection, we
Mm-hmm.
will require the setter methods,
Okay.
setter methods, so that we can inject, and we can like somehow we can use that. We can update some
Mm-hmm.
required field. And field injection, I think field injection we can use for um like for using the variable, I guess.
Okay, so which one is the best one among these three?
Constructor. Yes.
Conserve. Why?
Just preferred. Because it provides the injection at the class level and the objects are created.
Mm-hmm.
So since we use that object in the class level, so that's why that constructor method is.
Okay. Okay, so moving ahead, please tell me how would you mock a service being in Spring Boot application while writing JUnit test cases?
How I will mock? Firstly, like in the test class, I
Mm-hmm.
can mock using by using that when and then methods. Like
Sorry, I
in
didn't get you.
like we can mock them by using when and then.
When and then.
Yes,
Mock, we could
like
use the
when.
Mockito framework, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Either we can also use the, like for using them we have to mock by using the at the rate mock annotation as well. That
Mm.
particular class we have to inject here.
Correct, correct. Let's say your Spring Boot application starts fine locally but crashes in production with error. Let me tell you the error is no qualifying bean of type found. What are the likely causes and how would you debug it?
No qualifying bean is found, right?
Yes.
No qualifying bean. What I think is, uh, suppose there is a requirement of some bean
Mm-hmm.
and that it is not found.
Mm-hmm.
And why it is not found, it may be like, suppose during the component scan, actually it scans the as the package level, and
Mm-hmm.
if some bean is at the outside the package, then sometime it does not scan that particular class if
Mm-hmm.
that bean is injected here in being used here. So might be the case like,
Yeah, yeah.
it can also
That
be.
might be the case, and plus there might have the profile mismatch. A bean annotated with the profile dev is not created in the prod profile. Are you getting my point?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yep.
Understood.
How does Spring Boot's auto configuration work under the hood?
Auto configuration works when, because there is an annotation which is
Mm-hmm.
at that enable auto configuration, which is in the Spring Boot, at the
Mm-hmm.
like Spring Boot annotation in
Mm-hmm.
build, and during the start of the application only it set the all required fields
Mm-hmm.
into the Spring Boot application.
Okay. Moving ahead. How do you externalize secrets like DB passwords from your config files?
Actually, that I am not aware of.
Okay. Um, we could hide those secrets with some properties name. You could use the configuration properties, annotation, value annotation, right? And we can move those actual secrets to some other cloud services, right?
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Krishna, service A call service B.
okay.
Okay, service B call service C. Service C is slow. How does this system what would you do in this situation? Like, because due to the service C, you might have impacted in other services as well. So how would you work on this?
Yeah, so I got you. Like, is service A calling service B,
Hmm.
and B is calling to C as well, or C is calling to D?
No, no, no. Service A is calling B, service B is calling C. There is a linear chain. A, B,
Okay.
C, A to B, B to C. And C is very, very slow. So, and due to the slowness of the microservice C, there is an impact on service A and B. So, what would you do in this situation?
So the first thing I will try to check, like, why the service C is slow, working very
Mm-hmm.
slow.
Mm-hmm.
Either there could be like some DB operations which will be doing their operations.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose there is without uh, any filter, or
Mm-hmm.
would be like they are giving me a large number of results, like,
Mm-hmm.
for that we can provide limit, and we
Mm-hmm.
can provide filter as well. And also like, there is possibility like, there are a lot of service calls going outside there, so
Mm-hmm.
that we can also
And also,
minimize.
we could use circuit breaker pattern. Let's say in service C, if some APIs are taking longer time, we could set some time like if this API is taking longer time than this, then throw an error, something
uh,
like that, and move
yes,
to
yes,
the.
we can set the threshold limit for that.
Mm-hmm.
This percentage of application, if it is taking this much time, so we
Mm-hmm.
can uh, hold for some time and wait for the correct time.
Correct, correct. Two microservices need to share a database table. Is this acceptable?
Yeah, this is acceptable if the application is small, at a small level.
Okay.
If there is a large like microservice and
Mm-hmm.
database, so it will the performance will be slow. It will
Mm-hmm.
impact its performance.
Okay, so how would you implement distributed tracing across microservices?
Distributed tracing, you mean that logging system, or
Yep, yep.
uh, yeah, like for logging, like what I have used is log4j. So
Log4j2. What's the default logging mechanism in Spring Boot?
I think log4j,
Logback.
logback.
Yes, yes. We exclude the logback, then include the log4j2 if someone needs a log4j2.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yep. So how would you design an API gateway for some microservices?
For
For some
microservices.
microservices, right?
Okay, yeah. So API gateway, like we can design gateway like a gateway will have like all the microservices,
Mm-hmm.
all the endpoints it will have, and when some user is hitting any particular API, so
Mm-hmm.
first it will go into that particular gateway, and from their gateway it will be sent to the
Mm-hmm.
particular the application.
Okay,
So this is will be the architecture which will be followed.
correct. What is a deadlock? Can you tell me the situation where we can have the deadlock in our application?
Yes, for sure. Like suppose uh, there is an application which is depend
Mm-hmm.
on some other application,
Mm-hmm.
and that particular application is also dependent on some other application.
Mm-hmm.
So A application wants
Mm-hmm.
the result from the B application, and B is
Correct.
waiting for the C. So in this case, it will become a deadlock condition.
How would you resolve that?
Um, for resolving like that I'm not actually getting.
Yeah, it's fine. We can resolve it by using threads concept, synchronization blocks, locking mechanism like try locks. I think a locking mechanism is ideal thing way to resolve the deadlock situations, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah, I got it now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so moving ahead, you need a counter shared across 100 threads, right? You need a counter that is being shared across 100 threads. What are your options? What will be your options? Like, how would you create it?
Counter shared across hundred of threads. So, like firstly, we can create that like there will be the threads. So for them, like I can provide that locking mechanism
Mm,
for those threads. Like I can use that synchronized. I
mm,
can either on the I can use on the method or at the block level, so that the counter will be shared, like will be updated one by one. And also one more method is there, that retrend lock is
mm,
also there. So
mm,
like once one thread is called, then it will provide the lock, and it
mm.
will after unlocking only the another thread will be allowed. So this way I think
Yep, yep,
we can.
that's correct. And there might have other ways as well. Okay.
Yeah, I think atomic
Atomic.
keywords are also there.
Mm. Okay, so what's the difference between executor service dot submit and execute method?
uh, Not remembering actually.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. Execute is from the executor interface, returns void. Any unchecked exception thrown by the task silently kills the worker thread, something like that. Okay, whereas submit returns a future. We can call future.get to retrieve the results further. Okay.
Okay.
Do you know the difference between minor GC, major GC, and full GC? Garbage collector GC here is.
Yeah, I'm aware of garbage collector, like the variable or the objects which are not being used for a
Mhm.
longer period. So it go into the garbage collection, and JVM removes it.
Okay.
So that it provides
Did you face a
the
memory leak in your application ever?
uh, memory leak. No, I think.
Okay. Um, Moving ahead, you need a config reader instantiated only once across the entire app. You need a config reader that must be instantiated only once across the entire app, and it must be thread safe. What would you use here?
Configurator
Like
and
I'm looking for design patterns. Which design pattern would you use?
Design pattern means the single design, singleton,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Like
yeah, we should use singleton.
uh,
What's the best way
singleton.
to implement the singleton design pattern? Do you know?
Yeah, best way will be like best way in what way? Like you want to know? So
Best way in so that it would be thread safe. There will be very less complexity in code. It should be fast.
okay. So yeah, like in this way, like the method which we are uh, calling that constructor. So there use we have to check two times.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose just first check before using that synchronized block.
Mm-hmm.
Like synchronized block will be used so that only one object will be created. So
Mm-hmm.
we will use that null check for the object whether the object
Mm-hmm.
is created, and after that also after inside this synchronize also we will check once. So if it is already created, it will move outside the method. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
it will create one.
Correct.
So this way, like yeah, in the multi-threaded environment, it will work very much fine
Mm-hmm. Cool.
instead of using at method level or anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But I think you have missed one. You heard about enum based implementation?
Enum based, no, actually,
Okay.
not
We
aware.
There is a way to implement singleton design pattern through enums. Enums are by default thread safe by JVM, something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but that's the best way to implement the singleton design pattern, because in 2 3 lines you will be able to design a class through singleton design enum based design singleton design pattern. Okay. Just check it out after this interview.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Moving ahead. Okay. So other than singleton design patterns, tell me some other design patterns that you have worked on or you know those very well.
Yeah, I am also aware of that factory design
Factory design
pattern
pattern.
and builder design pattern is also there.
Okay. So what builder design pattern solves?
Builder design pattern solves like if there are some optional
Mm-hmm.
variables. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so for that variables, we have to create like multiple constructor, like
Mm-hmm.
multiple matching constructor.
Mm-hmm.
If like 4 5 are there, like optional variables are there, so we will require multiple. So instead of that, that builder provides the way to create into a uh,
Yeah. So you are trying to say if we have
single.
too many parameters in the constructor, something like that?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Cool.
So for
And
each parameter creating, if we are creating different constructors, so there will be lot of constructor. So to
mm,
avoid this, there is builder pattern in which like we will use all the parameters required, and then
mm,
at the last we will just put the dot build.
okay. And
So it will
what problem that factory design pattern solve?
factory design pattern like what I guess like it will solve the problem of having if uh, like that some inheritance kind of problem it
Mm-hmm.
resolves. Like if one uh,
Okay.
object is dependent on some parent
Mm-hmm.
object, so we can differ like
Mm-hmm.
we
Got it.
can
Got it.
use them differently. Like we can
Okay.
divide if
Okay.
required.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So Krishna, yes, it's done for my end, and yes, it was a nice interview. The feedback is you are good in microservice, Spring Boot design thing related things, but you are lacking in core Java. So I think you have to give some time to the core Java as well, right? Are you getting my point?
Yes.